Hello, my name is Cody Hmelar, and I'm a undergraduate student at Hofstra University studying journalism and writing studies. Thank you so much for coming to our undergraduate research poster session at the Four Cs. My research, entitled Immersive Media in the Classroom, What TikTok Can Teach Us in Contemporary Pedagogy, really focuses on incorporating immersive content in daily teaching practices by teaching faculty in ways that feel not inauthentic to student audiences. So we focused the study utilizing the social media app TikTok as the lens to view how students engage with immersive media in the classroom as well as personally, as well as in addition to general surveys. We also did intensive interviews with both student and faculty audiences. Um, and really, our goal for the survey is to create a course reader that would help give best practices for faculty that want to kind of modernize their pedagogy approaches in terms of how do we bridge the disconnect between how students um, are currently learning and how they would like to learn in order to best connect and engage further, both internally and outside of the classroom. And so that's really the goal of the study. My other researcher, Shayna Sunstock, is unable to attend the conference, but she was instrumental in the data gathering and validation of this project. So our participants were split into two distinct groups. We had both students and teaching faculty. And in order to limit variables in our initial data gathering, we focused on students in the writing studies and rhetoric classes, writing intensive classes, and also school of communication classes, as well as the teaching faculty of them. Our goal was to have at least 100 participants. Um, and we didn't have a cap on total amount. We wanted to ask at least 12 students and 6 faculty members to return for interviews, and the participants must be affiliated with Hofstra University in order to participate, in order to limit the scope of the project. Um, and so our sample size was 54 due to constraints in terms of timing, as well as with finals lining up directly with the end of our data gathering period. It made it really challenging to get interviews and to also get students to want to participate in a research project that would not positively impact their grade inherently, as there was no extra credit. Um, and so originally, these surveys were administered through links distributed through writing studies, writing intensive, and school communication classes through our electronic learning management system, as well as department-wide emails. Um, and so questions regarded um, challenges in the writing process, usage of screen time, and also experiences of immersive media, both in and outside of the classroom. And so the results were kind of interesting, where it wasn't that shocking to myself as a Gen Z college student, but to many faculty members who are maybe um, not within that demographic would find interesting. So, as we can imagine, the traditional lecture-based teaching format no longer engages students. We're in a time where we have constantly been exposed to stimulation from time of birth, where almost 24/7 a day, whether that's the indicator lights in our household appliances to screens, televisions, music, whatever it may be. And so lectures no longer work in terms of effective content observation as well as processing. And so um, what we found is that students in general, if they had a positive interaction with professors who engaged with immersive media or innovative pedagogy such as blogging, um, because in the words of Dr. FNLA, who's a faculty member here at Hofstra University, if they're already utilizing that technology on the daily basis, they're more likely to be able to engage with that in an academic setting rather than personal. Um, and so we found that if they were to have that positive interaction with professors in engaging with immersive media, they would have a decrease in writerly apprehension. So they are more likely to identify as, yes, I am a writer, even if they are not a writing studies based major. Um, and also had a higher likelihood of writing outside of an assigned writing piece, usually in terms of more creative writing, finding passion projects, and really expanding intellectual thought processes outside of the classroom. Um, and most students perceived immersive media as something they would like to see in the classroom, but they haven't seen it used or used effectively in a way that would be worthwhile of their time in the classroom. Um, so on average, we're seeing that people are spending like 2.75 hours um, on their phones every single day. So I raised to the educators in the room, or facilitators of education, what if we can tap just a little fractional share of that screen time that we're all using every single day into a academic one where we're finding educational content? And this is where TikTok has really come into play, because it's not just memes and uh, really any kind of comedic content like we saw with a similar app, Vine. People are actually taking this as a medium to disseminate information on a broad scale. And so this is a really powerful tool that we're seeing. We're also seeing a lot of opposition into the politicization of this tool that can be used for such great academic good. Now, in terms of the writing process, a lot of dissonance is occurring in what we would typically see or classify as executive dysfunction. But what it actually is that our learning process does not work with the current students we are having. Um, yeah, I feel like what I'm seeing the most is that people don't feel their professors are attempting to be innovative enough. They're being very safe and with the tried and true pedagogical practices. And this is at the same time you're seeing professors try really hard, but not have the resources or additional funding to put in the training to learn how to use these effectively in the classroom, especially when they themselves are not a native user of an app, and especially when they would not normally use that in the app. And so it leads to be very inauthentic in the usage. So what this research is really showing is that it's not just using immersive media in the classroom is going to be a magic solution to fix everything, but what it's really indicative of is that we need to change the way that we teach writing and that we learn in general, because what's currently happening with lecture-based learning is not impactful, and you're getting a further divide between those in teaching positions as well as students. Thank you so much. If you have any questions about the research or would like to engage further, feel free to email me, codymhelar@gmail.com, or on Instagram at Cody Hmelar, or any other social media platforms or ways that you communicate. All right. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your afternoon.